Hey everyone, we're here with Chris Pervelis from the mighty Internal Bleeding. They just put out a new album last week, a week ago today, as a matter of fact. Settle All Scores. I hope you got your copy. I have mine. Um, what a fucking great album that is, Chris.
Hey, thanks, man. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I'm super proud of it. It's exactly what it was. It's exactly what we needed to do. So, it's heavy. It's super aggressive. The production's really good. Um, and we expanded our sound a little bit since the last album. So there's some progression there. Um, so I'm happy.
Yeah, it's got a great fucking flow to it.
Thanks.
Starting with like Intangible Pact, that kind of sets you up for what's to come with the rest of the album.
Yeah, yeah.
I,
We actually Chris McCarthy and I spent a long time figuring out the track listing to make the album kind of flow together. You know,
how long? Yeah, how long did that part take just to figuring out the flow?
um, I don't know. We sat on my front porch where I'm sitting now. We were doing this in the summer, in the midsummer. I don't know. Maybe it took us 2 hours, and we figured out what song should go where. I mean, I always knew Deliberate Desecration was going to be the last song of the album because of the way I had planned it out with a long fade out and all that stuff. So I kind of already had that planned out, and then we kind of worked backwards from there.
I think my favorite part of the album, just as far as flow goes, is those last three tracks.
Okay.
Empire of fucking Terror, Glorify the Oppressor, and then Deliberate Desecration. Like that, the way that flows is just like the end, how an end of an album should fucking flow.
Oh, cool. Thanks. I mean, I don't know how, I don't know, we actually like I said, we worked on it and argued with each other to try to get what we thought would be the ideal flow for the album so that there was nothing boring and two songs butting up to each other that didn't sound the same um, and stuff like that. So, I'm glad you noticed that and, we're pretty happy about it. So,
But us older guys have to get something further than what the song is. Where we grew
yeah.
up in a time when album flow was everything.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Exactly. You want to be able to read the lyric sheet and feel the album flow go, just like when you were younger and you bought a record, or if you're a little older, you bought a CD and you sat down and you listened.
Yeah, God.
So we wanted to bring back that experience.
The thing I didn't like about CDs, and I still don't, is the fucking writing is so small. Like,
Well, vinyl's back, so huh.
yeah, yeah, I like that. It's I don't have to put on the fucking readers to frickin' read everything now. So I'm
Yeah,
like, yeah.
yeah,
So
definitely.
how is the reception for Settle All Scores been for you?
Very good. I would say 90% positive. Um, A lot of great reviews, a couple of crappy reviews. A couple of people, who haven't progressed past 1994, wishing that we wrote the same album over and over again all the time.
We
Um,
already have AC/DC. Come on.
exactly. Oh God, it drives me, it used to drive me nuts. But it doesn't anymore. It
Well,
drives,
I think you'd agree. You see, it doesn't matter what you do. If you progress, you piss people off. If you stay the same, you piss people off. So you've got to write music for you. You know.
right, right, exactly. I wrote, I think I wrote probably 80% of the album, and I wrote exactly what I wanted to write. And my view is, I'm not doing this for a living, so I don't have to bend over backwards to please anybody.
Right.
Um, so I wrote what I hear in my head and what I want, what I think slam should be, and whatever comes out, man. And hopefully fans like it, and a lot of fans do like it. I mean, I'm getting tons of messages of approval and stuff like that. And like I said, you're always going to have 10% of people biting at your ankles and whatever. If you pleased everybody, that means you did something wrong. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Then you're a pop artist, right? Taylor
hmm
Swift or whatever. And
hmm
we're not, luckily we're not in that world. Like,
Thank God. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, no shit, no shit. Fuck that. Um, what song on the album for you like really is your like favorite?
Enforced Compliance is my favorite.
Mm,
Um, it's groovy as hell. It's got a lot of great hooks, a lot of heavy parts, and that ending, I just love the ending of that song. It's pure 1970s, like Black Sabbath. And I put an egg shaker in there. I did all kinds of stuff in there. It's super melodic, and I just love how we were able to go from something so brutal and powerful into this light, epic, melodic thing while still being groovy and still fitting the song. Like it feels like it belongs in the song.
agreed.
It's not a tacked on part. And that was something I wrote that song. That was actually the first song that was ever written for this album. And I worked really hard on trying to get that part to flow right and sound good. And when I heard the final result, I was like over the moon because I love that crap. We did a little bit of that on our last album. I expanded on that on this album and made it even more, I guess, involved, with an egg shaker and the bass is doing something else and stuff like that. And I'm just like really pleased with that.
It's really nice adding in those other elements because we love our slam, we love our death metal, but at the end of the day, like if you can throw something in that fits musically, but is still kind of a left turn, is like it makes the
Exactly.
list makes the listener go, "What in the fuck was that?"
Exactly.
Badass.
Exactly. Like Deliberate Desecration too, that whole acoustic intro and stuff. I mean, I like all the songs, but I'm really proud of like of Enforced and Deliberate Desecration, because even in the middle of Deliberate Desecration, there's a really melodic part where the guitar is doing, and stuff like that over it. And I'm so glad that I was able to do, if we did it every song, it would get too predictable and too boring,
Yeah.
and it's not a treat anymore. So two songs with that in it is cool. Maybe I'd have liked to have done one more song with something like that in it, but it just didn't work out that way. Um, because what gets written gets written. So, and you're not going to try to force it. So,
Right. Well, and you always have the next album.
hmm well,
So
we'll see.
he said, "We'll see."
I'm getting up there. I already got my AARP card.
Oh shit. Did
you know,
you like it's so funny. It's funny you bring that up. My wife and I were talking about that yesterday. Like AARP. You hit that age and they start sending you shit like every week. It's like I'm not retired yet. I didn't realize you don't have to be
you
retired
don't
to
have to
sign
be
up for that.
retired. Nope,
Yeah.
you don't. I'm very close to retirement. So, um, another 2 years and I'm going to be retired. So, like, that's kind of wild. Hopefully
Jesus.
I make it.
Yeah. Yeah, no shit.
Hopefully I make it because I got a lot of plans for retirement. So,
Yeah. So have you been like just working your ass off just to retire?
pretty much all my life.
Yeah.
That's why I'm going to be able to retire early. So, that was
Hmm.
my goal.
That's awesome. How early are you going to retire?
I guess it'll be what I'll be 60, I'll be like 61 when I retire.
Okay. Shit,
So
that's good.
yeah, I'm
I think,
pretty damn, knock on wood, pretty damn happy about it. But I also, I spent my life being very disciplined with money. Um, I started my own business because it's if you're working for somebody else, you're never gonna get ahead.
right.
Um, I mean, unless you're like a CEO or, a C-level executive. That's how I looked at life. So, I just did it. I put a lot of work in, and I went 150%, 200% for 35 years, nonstop between the band and my business and this and that, nonstop. And I guess like 2 years ago, I finally said, you know what? I'm sick. I'm sick and tired of grinding so hard. Um, so my wife and I looked at our finances and all that stuff, and we're like, yeah, we probably could pull off retiring in a couple of years. So
Hell yeah.
that's the goal.
Good for you, dude. So many, so many people like won't even be able to retire before they're like 80 right now.
I know it's a shame, but you got everybody. You know what? Everybody, I say this to my bandmates, and my vocalist is starting to get it. Everybody has a unique talent. You're born with some kind of talent. How you exploit that talent is up to you, you know, and you can go far with the talent you have. You just have to find it. And a lot of people don't, a lot of people might have a talent that they don't even know they have yet. That's why you have to explore things, and something looks interesting to you, check it out, because that might be where your talent lies, you know, but if you find your talent and you fall in love with your talent and you work at it, then like not only do you accumulate wealth, I haven't worked a day in my life.
Right.
I love advertising. I love graphic design. I love building websites. I love it. I eat it up. I love it. And so I still look forward to, I don't like I don't like the deadlines and things like that. That's the stuff I don't like. The creativity, the work, I love all of it. The deadlines I hate, and the only reason I want to retire is because I don't want to deal with deadlines anymore.
That's
Seriously,
no,
seriously, because I'm sick
trust
of
me,
them.
I fucking get it, dude.
Yeah, I'm sick of fucking deadlines. Deadline this, deadline this. This website has to be launched by Wednesday. This has to be done by this. I just want to go into my garage and weld quarter panels on a car. So
Weld quarter panels and write some more songs. You've got one more album in you.
I think so. Even if my and I've talked to my band about this briefly. Even if my physical abilities don't allow me to tour anymore, and it's getting like that, unfortunately, um, because we can't afford to do buses and things like that. If we could afford to do buses, I probably can go a long time. But we can only afford vans, and living in a van at 60 years old is impossible. And even if you get it to a hotel and sleep for a couple of hours, I can live on no sleep, but my body and my joints need time to recover, and I'm not getting that. And it's painful. It's painful. It's you know, we do a 3 or 4 day run, and I'm hurting after the second show.
Oh
So
yeah.
so we'll have to see what happens. But another album I would like to do. Touring, I don't know. We have a busy year coming up. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, whether you get out and play though after, one more album, like if you still enjoy writing the fucking music, keep writing the music.
Hmm.
That's
Oh, for
there's a
sure.
I mean,
For sure.
there's a place for all those bands. You don't have to be out there fucking grinding all the time, but shit, sometimes it's fun to go play that show.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. I've been doing a lot of soul searching and a lot of thinking lately about that, because like I said, I'm coming up against a physical wall that I can't break through. No amount of surgery and no amount of supplements is going to fix it.
Right.
You know, the only thing that'll fix it is if our show pay gets tripled and I can afford to be like in a bus. So I don't think that's happening.
Oh fuck, you never know, dude.
I know. So
You know,
we'll see what develops. But
no
what
neck
else?
surgeries.
Yeah, God no. I already have two destroyed discs in my neck. So from headbanging.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
that's what really fucked Ozzy up is getting those like neck surgeries. And even outside of Ozzy, like you talk to almost anyone that's had a neck or a back surgery, and it's like this constant evolution of when's the next surgery, not
yeah,
even,
yeah,
oh, it,
yeah.
it fixed me. It's like fuck, I got to go back and get this fixed now because now that's fucked up. Like,
Well, you know what happens, and it's like it's always like that with. I relate it to automobiles because I'm a car guy. Once you fix something, now you have a brand new part. Everything else has to work harder because you have a brand new part now. So everything else around it starts breaking down. It's just the way it is.
Yep. Such is
I'm just,
life.
I'm just, I'm just happy that I've been able to dedicate half my life to this music, and that's since I was a little kid. This was my dream since I was a little kid, to play in a band and to play on stage and to play heavy metal and to look back and say I did it when I can remember being 4 years old with a tennis racket in my hand, pretending I was like Tony Iommi, sitting in a mirror, pretending I was in a band. And then this happened. Like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, it's a life by design, right? Like that was your focus, and that's what I think that's where a lot of people really miss out. Is like they go, oh, well, I'm going to go and I'm going to work, and then things can happen. But you really have to start from a young age and design the fucking life to go
You
whatever
know
way you
what?
want it to.
That's a really good uh descriptor. I don't know what to say, but it's funny because I was talking to my guitarist the other day, not the other day, because he's having these struggles too, because this is what he wants to do. And he's like, he's like, you figured it out, he said to me. He's like, you figured it out. You started your own business so you could make more money and you could be in a band. And he's like, how did you figure that out? I'm like, well, I knew what I wanted to do and set a goal and figured it out. I'm like, you can do it. You're just as smart as me. You just have to have the drive. You got to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning. You got to be awake before everybody else. You have to crush everybody else. You know, you can't wake up and say, I want to do this and then sit on your ass.
Yeah.
You have to get, and this goes back. One of the reasons I love Henry Rollins is because he was very inspirational back in the day for me, because his philosophy was go get it all the time, nonstop. Go get it. Don't stop. Go get it. Go get it. Go get it. Go get it. And I'm glad he was very inspirational, and Black Flag too, because they were like, go get it. Go do it. You
Well,
know?
that was the coolest thing about, I think, like the punk scene back in the like late 70s, early 80s, is it helped shape other bands for so long because of that. It was that work ethos, like, oh, I've got to get up, okay, I have to play more shows. How do I do that? Well, I can play a show here, but then we've got to find somewhere else. And what did they do? They got in the fucking van and they went and they did it, and they built something,
Right.
and it
Right.
was it was through a forest that didn't have any trails, but they made it happen.
And there was no internet. There was nothing.
Yeah.
It was fly by the seat of your pants, make phone calls, try to do what you got to do. And we did a lot. That still existed in the early 90s when we'd go out on the road. I'd frantically phone call people that I used to write letters to and say, listen, we're heading to here. We need a show. Is there anything we can jump on? Blah, blah, blah. There's an excitement to that, but there's also a stress to that, you know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where the gray hair comes from. You're like,
Right,
oh
right,
shit. Yeah.
right. But it's really cool that I got to experience all that. And it's a lot easier now with the internet to get shows and things like that. But
Yeah, but you still have those times where it's like you're pulling into a city and they're like, oh shit, they canceled the show for whatever reason. We just actually had one 2 months ago, 3 months ago. There was a storm and the fucking venue, lightning struck the power lines right outside. So there
oh my
was no
God,
no power in like three blocks or whatever. So we fucking spent, I guess it hit about 4 o'clock, and from 4 o'clock till 6, we were looking for another venue to have the show, and luckily some other venue canceled their show because bands or whatever, and it was just like, oh shit, okay, everyone go over there now.
we just went through that. The last run we did, we just went through that. We had a show at a VFW hall, and the VFW hall decided at the last minute that they wanted to book something else. This is while we were on the road. They wanted to book something else because they were making more money at it. and we got screwed, and we had to make 100 phone calls and emails, and then we picked up a show at a small bar in Philadelphia, and it turned out awesome. Last
Right.
minute notice, everything goes out on Instagram. The show's moved, blah blah blah. A lot of fun. That was exciting.
I love it when it comes together, and
Mhm.
I think it means the world when it's not just the band going to fucking work to make it happen, but the promoter and like everyone involved in it. It's like, hold on,
Yeah.
try here, try there, let's make this happen, and it
Yep.
can still come to fucking still come to fruition because the fans are like, okay, thanks for not canceling the show. I'm gonna buy an extra shirt or album or fucking whatever because
Yep.
hell yeah, this is cool.
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure.
That's fucking cool. So you guys were down here in May for the Gates to Hell album release
Oh
show.
yeah.
How was that?
That was a fun fucking show, man. That was a good fucking time. Um, the show was awesome, but some of the side story. Yeah. So we went to go see Colonel Sanders' grave, which is right near the venue.
Is he in Cave Hill?
I think it was Cave Hill, right? I don't know. But we went to go see his grave anyway. Right a couple of rows down, there was another funeral going on. So, of course, me and my bass player, my guitar player, we go over to the funeral that's going on and we pretend that we're part of the funeral. So that was fun. Um, uh, I had a great time down there. I mean, I met a lot of great people, and the show was off the hook.
Sold
The
out.
Louisville show, I think.
That was
Hold on,
headliners.
let me look at something. I want to look at my calendar for a minute because I think we're going back to Louisville. Um,
Hell yeah.
oh
Now
no, it got canceled.
we're at.
I don't know. It just got. We were originally going to play. We were originally going to play on January 26th. But whatever, they moved it. I just looked.
Okay.
Damn.
Well, that
There was a
sucks.
there was a conflict, like a radius clause thing.
I fucking hate that.
I do too, but I understand it.
Yep.
I
Yeah, me
understand it.
too.
So we'll get back down there. I hope. Isn't there like LBD Fest or something down there?
Yeah, LDB. Yeah,
Well,
they usually happens in like March, April, I think.
yeah, maybe they'll ask us to play that. You
Yeah,
never
that would
know.
be cool.
We've been doing a bunch of hardcore fests, so hopefully, maybe they'll ask us.
That's it's really fucking wild to see that. Obituary too, right? Like Obituary has been, I feel like, well, the last tour I saw him on was Terror, Nails, Pest Control, and Spirit World. It was like primarily fucking hardcore and Obituary. Okay. Like I'm here
It
for it
ma-
because I like it all.
it makes it make. We've been pushing this. We've been pushing fusing hardcore and death metal together since 1993.
Right.
We always thought it was a natural fit. Um, and even back then, we played with a lot of hardcore bands like Neglect. We played with Hatebreed a ton of times, way back in the early 90s before anybody knew who they were. And we'd always talk and be like, what, this, they're totally compatible music. The problem was the fans. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Metal fans wanted to listen to metal, hardcore fans wanted to listen to hardcore. And we play hardcore shows, and they were good. I'm not saying they were bad. They were good. They were really good. But we'd have hardcore bands. We'd bring hardcore bands onto our shows, and they wouldn't go over so. But now, fast forward 30 years later, there's a big crossover of fans. And this is the thing that I always thought was going to happen. So being around for when it finally did happen is very vindicating for me and for my drummer, may you rest in peace, because he always believed in that. And it's really exciting for me, and this goes back to when we were talking earlier about some reviews of our album, and some people said oh, it's too much, it's hardcore, blah blah. I'm like, have you listened to us? It's like you haven't even listened to us at all. It's just ridiculous. And so I'm just so happy that finally the scenes have crossed over. And why not?
It's all so I'm with you, right? I think that
Why don't people want bigger, better shows? More fun shows, more energy, more violence, more craziness. Why don't you want that? Like, what do you want to do? You want to play a show in front of you want to go to a show where there's 50 people all with their hands in their pockets?
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, grow up.
but hardcore has much younger fans, and I think for the older folks, like us, I'm into it because to me I look at it like it helps the longevity of that artist, right?
Yeah.
Seeing these young fucking kids at the obituary show going fucking wild, seeing young kids fucking watch you guys. It's like this is what it's meant to fucking do.
Right.
Music doesn't just go and stop because I only listen to death metal. Bullshit. You tell me you only listen to death metal, I'm calling you a fucking liar because
Right.
there's a lot of good music out there.
Yeah, who cares if some damn kid got into death metal 3 months ago?
Right.
We all got into death metal once, and we
At
were all
somewhere.
a,
Yeah.
we were all a newcomer, right? And so, like, it's preposterous. It's just, do you want this music to live on, or do you want it to die? Because if you want it to die, then you can keep everybody out, and all us old people will listen to it, and we all die, and there it goes away. I would like death metal and extreme metal to continue after I die. And when I take my final breath, I know that I had a little piece and I'm a little part of that legacy, you know? I mean, it just drives me nuts, man.
You know
I
it
just I just don't understand it.
I
I
don't
don't
either,
understand the mindset.
but I got a question for you because I wonder about this. I love extreme metal, from fucking I love it all over, right? Hardcore, I love the punk, I love the metal. It's music. I like music.
Right.
Where the fuck do you think extreme metal is gonna go?
I think it's gonna slingshot back to traditional early 90s metal.
Ooh,
I think it's gonna slingshot back to Altars of Madness type death metal and stuff like that. Because some of it is getting absurd. I'm not saying that is a bad thing.
right.
I'm saying some of it is getting absurd as far as speed and technicality and craziness. And I think that, and you're seeing it a little bit now with an old school death metal revival with younger bands. Everything is cyclical.
Yeah.
The pendulum goes like this. And I think that I think things are swinging back now more to the old school stuff. They'll get a little more extreme, and then it's going to go back to the old school stuff again.
Yeah. I could see that because I think, we've seen like a traditional like metal revival, um, a lot of bands that sound like they come right out of the late 70s, early 80s, which is fucking great because it
Yeah,
it
totally.
it it leads to that next evolution. Oh, I thought you were like, hey, bring me a fucking drink.
That's what I'm doing. I'm getting another drink.
So I'm really interested to see like what the cycle brings.
Me too. I mean, I think it's fascinating, but everything in life is cyclical. You know what I'm saying? Everything repeats itself. So
Yeah,
I think that, sorry about that.
no, you're good.
I think that maybe there's going to be another jump off after what's going on now, But even like some of the slam bands are getting so ridiculous and so extreme with their samples and with all that stuff that I really think there's going to be a throwback to the straight traditional late 80s, early 90s death metal, early Death, early Morbid Angel.
Already seeing it, right? Like a little bit. I think Barbarous, Clairvoyance, and Redivider are three that come to mind for me immediately. That really have that like throwback, death metal sound and feel. It's cool. It's done
Yeah,
a
it's
little modern, but it's really nice
no,
to.
but no, but I think I like I said, it's cyclical and I think it's awesome. And as much as people will complain about it, there are trends in music. So, if you don't like what's going on now, sit around for 5 years. It's going to change. Good. Thank you. Amazon's here. Thank you. Have a good day. Um,
That's
so
my house. The guy walks up and he's like, "Hey, is your wife home?" Like, no. Like, okay, she ordered this. Like, all right.
yeah, I don't even know what the oh, it's for me. Probably an aftershave since I spend all my money on aftershave. So
Aftershave bourbon and cigars.
I
So you
am a
drink it.
man stuck. I am a man stuck in the 1940s.
You're drinking Maker's Mark. It looked like.
Yes. Well, this is Makers. This is regular Makers Mark. Before that, I had Henry McKenna bottled in bond, 100 proof, which is very nice.
Hell
So
yeah,
I always start my bourbon night with a really good bourbon, which is the Henry McKenna, and then as I continue through the night, I do like a good bourbon that's a lower proof, that's more mass market. So the Maker's Mark is
a good daily drinker.
it's a good daily drinker. It's an excellent bourbon for the price. Goes well with the cigar.
So
Can't
wild
go wrong.
to watch this fucking bourbon prices really freaking jump over the last few
Oh, I
years.
can't. I can't. Don't get me started.
Like, like I'm like, I quit drinking. I'm done. I don't want to pay those prices anymore. Fuck
There's
that.
there's still a lot of bargains to be found that are really good though. That's what makes it fun.
Now, when you all came down, did you do any of the bourbon tours?
No, I wish I did. Um, we went down that way in 2012 or 13, and we did a couple of bourbon tours, a couple of distilleries, and then on one Sunday we had a day off and we went to the Jim Beam distillery, and it was closed because it was Sunday, but we sat in front of a rick house, pulled out our lawn chairs, grabbed some bourbon, sat down, and just sat in front of the rick house and smoked cigars for like 2 hours, just chilling out there. That was fun. Um, I want to go down, like, what is it, September, where they have the Bourbon Trail Festival and stuff like that. I want to go down there so bad one year.
So they do a I think they still do it. They give you a little like passport type deal, and every time you go to one of the fucking places, they stamp your book, and when you're done, they send you like a shirt or something.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's
I would love that.
I think they've got two different trails. They've got like the craft trail and then like the traditional trail. So traditional, right? You're looking at like Evan Williams, Woodford, uh, who else? Buffalo Trace, you know, all that shit. And then the craft trail, we started into that, my wife and I, but we didn't get too far. Um, I think we got sidetracked by food. Like,
Yeah. Well, listen, bourbon and food go very well together. So,
yeah,
um, I would like to do I would like to do both. I would like to do the main one first and then the craft second, because the main one is just, there's just so much history there, you know? And
yep,
it's not just the history of alcohol, it's the history of Kentucky, it's the history of America. I mean, It's really cool.
It is. It's
It's a
like,
true. It's a true. The thing. One of the things I like about bourbon is it's the only true American spirit. There are no truly American spirits except bourbon. Bourbon is an American spirit.
huh, I never thought of it like that.
It is.
Yeah, that's
It
wild.
is. That's it's the only American spirit.
Yeah, I really like, I'm like, holy shit.
There's been whiskey before, of course. There's been beer before, of course. But bourbon specifically, the ratio of corn to everything else, that's a very American thing. It was it was started here. So
Well, that, and they said, originally, like, the bourbon was specifically from like Kentucky because of the
yes.
limestone filtration through the water.
Yeah, and Elijah Craig, he was a real person. All those guys, Pappy Van Winkle, all those guys, they lived in Kentucky.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. Four Roses, that they do a little like tasting with you. I think it's like $5 or $10 or something. Super cool. They run you through, I think, 4 or 5 different like bourbons, and then when you leave, they give you the rocks glass, and in the bottom, it's got a fucking rose carved into it.
oh, that's cool. See,
It's
I would love that. I'll break the glass after 3 days because I'm a klutz. But
That's what happened to us.
I would absolutely love that. It's so
Maybe,
cool.
now you've got a reason to fucking, hey, wife, we're gonna fly down to Kentucky and go do the Bourbon Trail.
Now, do you know? I never told you. I lived in Kentucky
Oh, I didn't know that.
for 8 months in Paducah.
Oh shit, there's nothing there.
Nope. There is one thing there. The oldest embalmed person in America is in a funeral home in Paducah.
Oh
I don't know if it's still true, but so when I was younger, my parents weren't divorced, but my father lived in Kentucky for 6 months out of the year because he used to own a factory in Arlington, Kentucky. So I went down there to live to maintain the factory property, the grass and all that stuff. So he took me to this funeral parlor where they had the oldest embalmed person. And what really drove my friends in New York crazy was I had a McRib sandwich in Paducah before it ever came to New York. So I have a little Kentucky blood in me. So
hell yeah.
yeah.
So speaking of embalming, there is, I think it's still a thing. There was a guy here that recorded bands, and his family owned one of the bigger like funeral home. I'm gonna,
Franchises, whatever.
yeah. They probably had. I think right now they probably have like 6 or 8 different like houses around like Louisville, right? Uh, One of them was still active, and bands would go to the funeral home and fucking record. They'd go up in the room, yeah. And who was it? Chris Enriquez from Spotlights was like, "Oh, I remember." He started telling me the story, and I was like, "Oh, it's." I'm not going to say his name just because I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
want
yeah.
people to get pissed off. But I said, "Oh yeah, dude." He goes, "Oh, we're in there recording," and he said, "Hey, you want to see a dead body?" Chris is like, "Ha ha ha, yeah, right." He goes, "No, no, come here," and he takes him down the basement. He's like, "We're they fucking recorded drums in one of the rooms where they were having the funeral service."
So awesome.
He's like,
That's great.
they set me up right in front of the fucking body, and I fucking and I played, and he's like, "Okay, we're done. Break it down. Get the fuck out of here."
Well, that's morally questionable, but that's awesome.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Yeah, like how many people can say, "Hey, I recorded in a fucking." I mean, I guess a lot can say they recorded in a funeral home at this point.
I hope that funeral home doesn't get in trouble.
Well, that's why we're not saying any names.
Good, good. That's good
Yeah,
to know.
yeah. Now I think that dude is like some. I don't know. He tours with some big band now, as or maybe one of the guys in the band is like as a guitar player. Good for him.
Hmm.
So,
Sure.
what was the recording Settle All Scores like for you?
It was an interesting process because this was the first time we never recorded in a studio. So all the guitars, so the two guitars and the bass were recorded at my house. The drums were recorded at Full Force Studio. The vocals were recorded at Full Force Studio. And then we handed everything over to Taylor Young to reamp it, mix it, and put it together. Um, it's the first time I ever did that, and it was wild, and I was really insecure about it, but it worked out great. And considering like most of my bandmates don't live anywhere near me, it worked out really good because so the vocals and the drums, the vocalist and the drummer flew in, they recorded in the studio. Me and Chris and Ryan did our guitars at my house. Taylor put it all together, and it worked out great.
Hell
A
yeah.
whole new experience for me. Never did it before. Everything was always in the studio live and all that stuff, but reality kicks in and you can't do that. And it was great. It was I'm looking forward to doing another one now that I know what to do. Like I was flying blind.
Right.
I was when we were doing our guitar tracks, I was emailing Taylor and saying, "Am I doing this right? Are the levels right? I don't know what I'm doing." And he'd call me and he'd say, "Adjust this, do that." And it worked out great. It really worked out great. I couldn't believe how it all got put together. It got put together exactly how I heard it in my head.
That doesn't ever fucking happen.
Right. And even better, it was more uh economically efficient.
Yeah.
So,
You didn't have to go spend a bunch of money on this fucking studio for a week or whatever.
mhm. The only money that was spent was my electricity running into my house for us to record our guitar tracks. And but when we did the guitar tracks, we were very cognizant of that, and we said to ourselves, we need to pretend we're in the studio. So if a take is really good, we're going to keep it, and we're not going to redo it 100 times until it's perfect, because then you lose that organic sound, right? So there's some takes on that album that I think could have been perfect, could have been perfected. I could have done them 100 times until they were perfect, but I left them and said, these are really good, leave them. So we
That's
kind of had to have that. We kind of had to have that we're under the gun, we're in a studio perspective in order to keep it natural sounding. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Well, yes, because you have to give yourself some sort of timeline. You don't want it to be, oh, we're gonna take 3 years to fucking record this album. Then it's overproduced. It
Right,
sounds,
right,
it doesn't come out. You're not happy with it. You're like,
right.
fuck.
It sounds fake as fuck.
Yeah.
Right,
Def
right.
Leppard, you know?
Yeah. So I mean, we put ourselves, and it was kind of hard to put yourself in the producer seat and say, yeah, that's a good take. Let's leave that. Don't fuck with it. No punch ins. That's it. Move on. And we did that. And there are some mistakes in the album, and me and my guitarist laugh about them now. He's upset, Chris. He's like, oh, that one harmonic, he got all upset about it. He's like, I could have pinched it better. I'm like, yeah, but in the studio, you would have said it was good enough. And he's like, yeah, you're right. So there you go.
I'm gonna, I'm just gonna tell him, dude, you really fucked up that harmonic. Like,
Don't do that. Don't do that to him. We joke about it. He's like, oh my God, that I'm not telling you the song. because then people will listen to it and be like, they'll focus in
Yeah.
on it. It's like, he's like, we should have done it on another string, blah, 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 this, that, the other thing. And I think it's hilarious, I mean,
Yeah, how many people actually notice that? Especially, same thing live. Like you
that's
get
what
off
I
stage,
said. That's
you're
what I
like,
said to him. I said, nobody's ever going to know that this isn't what we wanted to do. It's just what ended up happening. Nobody's going to know. Nobody cares. I think it still sounds good. It could have sounded better, but
I don't know, could it,
99,
right? Could it have been perfect?
99%, yeah, 99% of the album is awesome. And if there's like 1% or 0.5% that's not perfect, great. We're human beings and that's the way it goes.
That's a fucking win for sure.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to go and play
100%.
every fucking show perfect. Like, if that was the case, you may as well just put the fucking album on. Like, hey, we're here. Here are instruments.
Exactly. you know what? That's a good point. Um, I know a lot of bands that play with click tracks and backing tracks, and I'd rather fly by the seat of my pants. And if we fuck up, we fuck up. It's okay. We change tempos every show. Our tempos shift,
Yeah.
and that depends on the crowd. But to me, that's what and I don't understand how a lot of people don't realize that that's what the live experience is about. If you want to hear the album, listen to it. You want to watch five guys sit on stage and recreate the album? That's boring as fuck. Give me a
Yeah.
give me a give me a new interpretation on the album. Slow this part down, speed this part up, fuck this part up, whatever.
Well, like a live show to me is very much like an album, right? Like the album is a recorded version of where that band is at that
Right,
time,
right.
and
It's a
live,
snapshot. Right.
that's it. And live,
That's it.
it's that band in this moment. Like you don't get fucking. I don't want to hear the album when I go to a live show. Like just like you said, if I want that, fuck, I can do it here. Like
Right.
I want the
Yeah,
band to
exactly. And
fuck
and you
up.
know what? You know what? You made a good point. You said it's a snapshot, right? The show we played down in Louisville, we're never going to play like that again. The people who got to see it got to see it. We moved on to a different show. It sounded different. So it's always different. And I mean, to me, that's the beauty of live music. As much as I love the band Rush, they just recreate their albums on stage. And
So
it's impressive, but I can listen to it at home.
so you brought it up, so I'm going to ask you, what do you think about them going out with Anika? Is that I think that's her name,
Yeah,
Anika?
yeah. I don't know. I think I trust I trust Alex and Getty to honor Neil. Um, Seems to me from everything I've watched about Rush, it seems to me that those guys are really smart's not the word, but they really understand their legacy and they really understand their fan base and stuff like that. So I think it's going to be a good thing. I think they're going to honor Neil the proper way.
Yeah,
And I,
I don't
I
think
think
they'd get a shit drummer to come out and
no,
play.
no, of course not. No, no. I think and it's not a money grab because those guys have enough money. I think those guys really love. I think Rush really loves their fans, and I think they really love what they created together.
Yeah.
And they miss it that it's gone, and playing live again is going to rekindle that, even though Neil's not there. And I can understand that a little because when we play, every time I play, I think of Billy.
Bill. Yep.
Yeah. So like I get it, and I'm happy for them. I don't think they're gonna dishonor Neil at all.
No, no, I don't think so. Like you're absolutely right. I think you nailed it. They understand the legacy of the band and all their contributions to music. I think Alex and Geddy really miss playing live. Like at the end of the day, it's their music also, and it's kind of their way to reach back out and go, "Hey Neil, we haven't forgotten you, dude. Like, remember
Right,
this?"
right. Yeah, I think it's awesome, and I think they're gonna do, I think they're gonna do a great job. I'm not even concerned about it. I think they're gonna do a great job, and not to be cold hearted and cruel, but you got to move on. Somebody dies, you have to move on. If Billy died, like I would never quit. I don't think Neil. I know Billy would never want me to quit, and I don't think Neil would ever want them to quit.
Right.
So there's that. Even though it's cruel to say, you got to move on, and times change, and people die, but if you keep the legacy and you remember where you're from and things like that, I think everything's okay. I mean, most of the live shows we play, we always shout out Billy. We make sure he gets mentioned every time. Even if younger kids don't know who he is,
Right.
it's important to us. So,
Yeah. I think, I think it's important for the band to pay homage to their legacy,
right,
right? Like Neil is part of that, just like Bill is part of your fucking legacy, right? And if you were to completely dismiss it and move on, it raises some questions,
right.
you know?
That's more cruel.
Yeah.
That's more, when uh, when you have a relative that dies, right? How do you keep that person alive? You talk about memories of them. You you honor. That's how you keep them alive. So Rush doing what they're doing is perpetuating Neil.
Yeah. Good
You
for
know?
them. Good for them for fucking getting out and doing it, right? I know there are
Yeah.
a lot of people out there who are talking shit or upset with them, but at the end of the day, like let's look at Metallica, right? When Cliff when Cliff passed away, they didn't fucking stop.
No, and right. They didn't stop, and I think Metallica does a good job of honoring Cliff.
Hmm. Yeah, constantly. Like he is a large part of their history, even if it was only for a couple of albums,
Right.
in their 20 or
But
30 or whatever the fuck.
he was an important part of the, and that's a, man, that's a beautiful thing. Like if I die or when I die, I hope there's somebody, not, it doesn't have to be musical, like talks about me or mentions me. That's how you keep people who have passed alive.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like Billy's death was the biggest one beside my parents. Billy's death was the biggest tragedy in my life. And it was probably one of the biggest tragedies in my other guitarist's life too. And we make sure when we play, we keep him alive. And I know where if there's an afterlife or whatever, he's looking down and he's happy as hell. So
Hell yeah, yes.
I'm sure he's complaining about, because Billy was a big complainer. I'm sure he's complaining about the 20 people who are complaining that we don't sound like we did in 1994. But other than that, it's all good, man. He speaks to me every day and I love it.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Holy shit. It's wild to think about. I needed this conversation this week.
Cool. We didn't even talk about music once.
No, that's not true. We did. We talked about music a couple of
A little
times.
bit. And no, but you know what? I like I like podcasts like this. I've been doing a lot the past 2 weeks because of the album. And I appreciate more a freewheeling conversation as opposed to somebody asking me, what do you think about this song? What do you think about this song? Somebody's going to tune into this and they're going to learn about bourbon. They're going to learn about this. They're going to learn about that. And not only do they get an insight to you, they get an insight to who I am as a person, which I think is important.
Yeah.
Um, because it helps explain the music I create. So,
Well, you know, you were you were a nerd like me growing up, and you listen to this music and you go, "Man, I love the music, but I want to know about the fucking band.
mhm,
What drives that those people to make that music?"
right. And the
Like,
characters behind it and the process and the life experiences. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what makes it interesting to me too.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I love meeting people because everyone is so fucking different. And sometimes I'm like, yeah, okay, I met you, but fuck off. And other times I'm like, okay, we should sit down and grab a drink because this would be a fucking blast.
yeah, for sure.
All right, Chris. Um, thank you very much for your time.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate. I think I'm gonna go have a fucking bourbon. I've not had
There
a
you go.
bourbon in 2 fucking years now. Um,
You need one.
eh, probably. Probably. Dude, thank you. For everyone out there, go pick up Settle All Scores if you have not. It's a master class in fucking slam. So, you
Thank you.
know, check it out. It is a fucking fantastic album, Chris. Thank you for putting it out. I hope that you feel like you have at least one more album in you.
I hope so too, man. And it's great to talk to you again. And have a great night. And thank you to anybody who's listening. And I hope you enjoy our stuff.
Hell yeah.
Cheers.
See ya, dude.
All right, man. Thanks, brother.
Yeah, see ya.